Faster than mine.
Yeah, I get 700 Mbps at this computer.
Wow, I get like maybe 4 at best. 400, not 400.
I get 4. You're still downloading it. It's been a week. You're almost at 100% completion of the download. Why am I not recording this?
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there's Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Twitter and Instagram at namely90s with a 90s. And if you'd like to watch the show on YouTube, head on over to namely90s.com/YouTube. Finally, if you'd like to support the show, type in patreon.com/namely90s with a 90s and show us some love.
Wow, that's a new riff.
Yeah. Riff
like stick and roll. There, I like it.
Yeah. How you been? I feel like I just talked to you.
I mean, we were talking before the podcast start, and
True.
as
friends, we do a lot.
We do communicate. Well, yeah, but we haven't recorded for these episodes. We've been recording specials, everyone. But we haven't recorded for the show in over a week.
It's been a little bit.
Which we haven't done since you started the pod shed.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. Week and a half, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. 2 weeks.
It's been busy, I guess. This week especially is like the busiest week I've ever had, and it just so happens to be the same week that Kayla got called for jury duty.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. Is she still in selection?
Well, she got sent home.
Oh, good.
Because there was a problem with one of the parties, and then now she has to go back tomorrow.
Oof. Woof.
Yeah. Whoops.
But
what are you gonna do? It's not like we have 3 kids, and I am gonna be at work for 12 hours tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. And have a podcast to record at some point, and it's like you should have planned better for this.
And how are your kids? Well, we didn't know about the jury duty till pretty last minute.
That's true. They're good. I assume I get letters from the government about child support.
Oh my gosh. Are those the ones that you throw in the garbage? No. Sorry. It's
the dumpster behind the fire station. Sometimes they check it before they take out.
Oh, dear Lord.
Trash. Are fire stations still safe havens for unwanted children?
I do believe so. Yes.
Huh. What do they do? Do they just send it to the orphanage, or do they raise them in the firehouse next to the Dalmatians?
That's a good question. Yes.
If you're a firehouse orphan.
Or if you're a firefighter.
Yeah, that makes more sense. So we ended last episode with... Well, where should we start? Yeah, we ended last episode. I cut you off before you could tell us your thoughts on No Time to Die.
First, I should load the correct outline because I loaded the one for the next episode.
Fair enough.
Yes. Sorry, I interrupted you when you talked about how you interrupted me.
I don't think that. Oh, yes. I interrupted you at the end of the last episode with we were about to talk about our thoughts on No Time to Die.
Right.
Because we talked about GoldenEye last episode. But we were over and trying to keep our episodes closer to the half-hour mark, right, even though we're at 45 minutes pretty regularly these days. What you saw No Time to Die, I saw No Time to Die. We both started the Daniel Craig James Bond franchise at a midnight premiere.
Yes,
with one of our friends. That was the same. We left the theater at 2 a.m. I made sure we drove past Target to see if there was a line for the Nintendo Wii, which there was maybe 20 people camped out in front. So I went home and slept, then came back 4 hours later and got 116th or the 112th Wii out of 117 Wiis at that Target.
Very nice.
What were we talking about?
No Time to Die.
Gotcha. Where do you want to give your thoughts on the movie?
I liked it. I think the villain guy, we've talked about this.
Yeah, you don't like Rami Malek.
I really don't. And it wasn't that good, that part. But I do think the overall movie was excellent.
They definitely brought him in to like wrap up the Spectre storyline too quickly. But they definitely were like, and obviously spoilers for just say the next 5 minutes and check in with us there. The thing that bothered me about the continuity of that is like, he's not old enough. Right. Like,
I'm like, he's not old enough to be that old in the opening sequence. Like, are they not the same age or roughly the same age? He and the
like
woman.
Yeah. like maybe he should. I mean, definitely act like the actors are the same age, but I mean, Daniel Craig's infatuated with 20-year-olds. Apparently, I mean, James Bond is infatuated with 20-year-olds.
So, well, how old do you think that girl was? Like 8 or 10?
She was supposed to be, like 8, somewhere between 8 and 12.
I feel like he had to be at least 20 in that sequence.
At least 16.
So he's going to be in 40s or 50s. I'm sorry, he's just not.
Like,
is he?
He should have been at least in his 20s in the beginning, because like his family was massacred, and then he had to take their wealth. And
I mean, dude's 40. I guess it's possible.
Hunt down.
It just didn't seem plausible, though.
No, but he looks very young. Period.
Sure.
But yeah, it was like, I am a full-grown adult. You are a child. I love you because I saved you from the ice. And
I'm discernibly no older, like 20 years later.
Exactly. The horrible scarring I received.
They kind of phoned that in, honestly.
They just wanted, that's true. They probably wrote the part and they're like, who can we cast in this that is a great actor and also somewhat ethnically diverse?
No, but it was a lot of fun. I liked that it had that gal from I forget her name, but from Knives Out that played sort of like the protagonist.
Yes. She was awesome. The like CIA spy in Cuba or wherever they were. What was her name? Like Eva something.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
I had
Ana de Armas.
Ana de Armas. Yeah. I had never seen her before in anything, but she, for those like 15 minutes she was on screen, she stole the show.
I also did thoroughly enjoy the movie Knives Out. Apparently they're doing a sequel.
Yes.
I know some people didn't like it, but I liked it. Okay.
I think the interesting is it's you can Apple, by not allowing villains to use their phones in movies, kind of just like gives away who the killer is or killers. I don't remember how that concludes. Moving on. I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. It was a great way to end the franchise. Bond dying, keeping the Daniel Craig continuity its own thing. I'm interested to see where it'll go.
I think it annoyed me that so many people were like, it's just okay. Like, what do you need? That's like, you know what I mean? What do you need? What would make it perfect for you?
I think it was one of the best since Casino Royale. Like it was definitely better than it was definitely better than Quantum of Solace, and definitely better than Spectre, because that was a terrible
Skyfall's
movie.
like an instant classic though.
Skyfall was good. I feel like it was a little long.
And they actually had a talented musical artist on that one. Ooh, burn.
Were they not? Was it not all Marks? No, or wait.
No, Adele did the
you mean
opening music.
Gotcha. I actually liked Skyfall better, or not Skyfall. Adele's No Time to Die better than Skyfall. Chris Cornell though.
What? Chris Cornell did
Casino Royale.
Yeah, but Adele didn't do both of these songs.
No. Were you saying Skyfall's
Skyfall had proper intro music.
From who?
By an actual artist. Adele.
No Time to Die had Adele.
No, it didn't.
Who is
Skyfall theme song by Adele. No Time to Die. Billie Eilish. God, I hate that person.
Let me repeat. Let me correct myself. I liked Billie Eilish's song. I thought it was good, like better than like the White Stripes for Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, it was no good.
I don't even remember who did Spectre, or the lowest bar to pass to just skip over is Madonna's.
Spectre was by Sam Smith, that like whiny British guy.
Sam Smith. Yeah. Where am I blanking? Oh, Madonna did Die Another Day. That was terrible. But before we move on, before we move past the intro, which has been at the 10-minute mark now, Sex and the City dropped their new trailer for, and just like that, a new chapter of Sex and the City, which I forced Andrew to watch before this. It's coming out on HBO Max soon, I think. Your thoughts
December.
On the revival of Sex and the City with three of the original four cast
members? The ongoing joke, like quite a few people have made, is like in the original show they were like kind of old, and now they're like so old.
Weren't they our age? Like
I don't know.
Give or take, because
why does Family Guy keep making the joke? Maybe I think Kim Cattrall was like the old one. Maybe
right. Yes, she was our age in the 80s. No, she was in her 20s in the 80s, but so is Sarah Jessica Parker.
But I don't know. And like they changed the name kind of, but not really.
And just like that,
that's so
subtitled
dumb.
A New Chapter of Sex and the City. Well, yeah, it looked.
Hope they come up with new characters for us to try to like cram down our throats for a possible reboot that no one likes.
Mr. Small. Well, I was sure there's going to be a ton of female viewers for that, because that was like the female show to watch from the late 90s through the early 2000s.
My question is, does Sarah Jessica Parker do anything but like bad sequels and reboots of the one show she's famous for?
She wasn't in the Footloose reboot.
Couldn't she do like a lot of stuff with her career?
She could. She had previously. Clearly,
I know her from nothing else.
Footloose. I mean, the pandemic really made everyone rethink about what should I be doing.
No, I didn't know she did anything after Sex and the City.
After Sex and the City?
Yeah.
I mean, she had to. I mean, she did the Sex and the City sequel movie.
Exactly my point.
She has to have done something. She married Matthew Broderick, but that was
what an accomplishment.
She was in Strangers with Candy, Loveless.
Wow.
Dudley Do-Right.
I guess she's been in stuff.
She was in Square Pegs. She
was in Glee.
Huh.
She was in Sex and the City. Oh.
Okay. I guess she hasn't done much. She had a lead role in Divorce.
She was in Mars Attacks.
Terrible movie. Yes, we did mention that, but that was pre-Sex and the City, wasn't it? Or right around when that started.
So she started working in 1974
as a child. Like Sarah Jessica Parker, if I remember correctly, was 29 in 1995 when Hocus Pocus came out. Because that's what I brought up for our special.
She's only 56. I'm surprised by that.
Oh, anyway. 1993 is when she was 29. So she was really pretty much our age when she started Sex and the City.
So are you going to TiVo this?
Well, it's on HBO Max.
I realize no one has TiVo, and it's also on a streaming service.
No, I think the one thing that I was kind of sad about is Willie Garson was in the trailer as his character Stanford Blatch. Again, I've never watched Sex and the City, but he's like one of the most known like character actors. Like he was Mozzie in White Collar, Jared Hirsch in Hawaii Five-0, Martin Lloyd in Stargate SG-1. Like he's just like one of those random guys that shows up on a show, and you're like, oh, that guy. And he died last month, so that was sad.
R.I.P.
One more thing to squeeze in before we go back in time.
That's what she said.
Nash Bridges is having a revival movie. It comes out this Saturday. After the listeners' time, Nash Bridges was the second. Was the show with Don Johnson from Miami Vice and Cheech.
He was also in Knives Out, consequently.
Really? Well, his daughter was in the Twilight parody movies. What are they called? 50 Shades of Grey. The fan fiction written about Twilight. Anyway, Cheech. What is Cheech's last name?
Marin.
Cheech Marin. Thank you. They did like a buddy cop thing in the 90s. And now they're having a revival movie, which might turn into a backdoor pilot to the series. And
they should call it Hash Bridges.
The new updated Nash Bridges is a boss in the San Francisco Police Department, and he's trying to adjust to modern detective work because he used to just like go hunt down people as a PI or something. I don't
Hash
remember.
Bridges.
It was just one of those terrible shows you would watch in the afternoon on TNT.
I was gonna say, is it gonna be on TNT?
USA, actually.
Same difference. Dear God, I'm dying.
All right. Shall we travel back?
That mute button. Sure, let's do it. Let's go back to November of 1996.
All right, travel back with me, listeners. November 1996. On the 1st, Shaquille O'Neal makes his debut as a Laker at the Forum. On the 4th, the Spice Girls released their debut album, Spice. Also on the 4th, in honor of the 30th anniversary of Star Trek Deep Space Nine airs an episode where the crew travels back in time to the original USS Enterprise to stop an assassination attempt on Captain James T. Kirk during the TOS series episode, The Trouble with Tribbles. That's for all my Trekkies out there. That's those little puffball animals. You've probably seen like a GIF of just a bunch of brown puffballs hitting William Shatner on the head as Kirk. No? Okay. Getting a blank stare. On the 5th, Bill Clinton is reelected as the U.S. president, beating Bob Dole.
Also
on the 5th, Derek Jeter is voted AL Rookie of the Year.
Wow.
I don't know why that's important. On the 7th,
Chewbacca was voted Wookiee of the Year. Consequently.
I mean, who's he? What's his competition? Lumpy from his son?
Cousin It? I don't know.
On the 7th, Lord is born.
The Lord Jesus Christ?
No, the Lord with an E. The depressed girl that sings songs.
You can never be royals.
That's the one. On the 11th, Discovery Kids Channel debuts. On the 15th, Tomb Raider is released on the PlayStation 1, DOS, and the Sega Saturn in
DOS
North America.
version, shit.
Sorry. What? Andrew's a PC gamer now. On the 22nd, always apparently, even though he was the one that got me into playing on the PlayStation. On the 22nd, Haley Baldwin is born. Do you know who Haley Baldwin is?
Is she related to Alec Baldwin?
Yes.
Is she his daughter?
I want to say no.
Cousin.
No.
Niece.
I'm pretty sure she's. I am pretty sure she's Stephen Baldwin's daughter, but she recently is the wife of Justin Bieber. Justice Beaver. More importantly, on the 22nd, Donkey Kong Country 3 is released on the Super Nintendo, which I think I complained about recently. Yeah. On the 23rd, the Tamagotchi is released by Bandai in Japan. On the 26th, MLB owners approve interleague play. And also on the 26th, Dead or Alive is released in the arcade on the PlayStation 1 and on the Sega Saturn. I didn't realize they had it on the Sega Saturn.
They made an arcade version of a John Bon Jovi song?
No, it's the...
I know.
Okay.
I was making a joke. Not a very good one.
I mean, you're either a John Bon Jovi fan or a fan of scantily clad women fighting game. One or the other. No intersecting circle there. No Venn diagram going on. TV ending. November 1996. On the 2nd, the Teenage Mutant Ninja cartoon airs its final episode, starting from 1987.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I think they just like released one new one and then called it quits.
9 years.
They definitely did not have new episodes continually for those 9 years. On the 24th, Rocko's Modern Life.
Should I be familiar with this program?
It was.
I don't know why.
It was the.
Was it like a heifer and a?
Yep.
And a wallaby?
Yes, the wallaby was Rocco. Heifer, his friend Hef, the heifer was his friend. It was
the heifer.
I think it was the third or fourth Nicktoon to debut.
Does anyone heifers are female cows, by the way?
Yes, but he was a male in the show. That's interesting. Didn't know that. Well, actually, I did know that, but didn't put two and two together. Is what I'm saying. Also on the 24th, The Tick on Fox Kids. He was the superhero voiced by the guy that plays Joe Swanson on.
Yeah, I can't remember his name all of a sudden, but I know who you're talking about. Oh, Patrick Warburton.
Patrick Warburton. I think he was voiced by him in the cartoon. This might be the live action series that he starred in. It was bad.
Oh.
But it was bad, cheesy bad, or it was cheesy good, but bad.
As we've come to love.
Also on the 27th, Power Rangers Zeo comes to an end, making way for Power Rangers Turbo next season. In the box office on the 1st, Romeo and Juliet, or Romeo plus Juliet.
Yeah, exactly.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes movie. On the 15th, we have The English Patient. Also, Space Jam. On the 22nd, we have Jingle All the Way, which, spoiler alert, we'll be talking about next month.
Indeed.
And also on the 22nd, we have Star Trek First Contact. And on the 27th, we have 101 Dalmatians, a live action version.
Is that the one with Lindsay Lohan or whatever?
No. You mean Emma Stone.
Same thing.
That was Cruella, and I know that was a joke.
Same difference.
On the 27th, also we had Sling Blade. And on the Billboard charts, for number 1 for November 1996, and from the beginning of August, and finally ending the first week, is The Macarena by Los Del Rio, giving it up to No Diggity by Blackstreet for the rest of the month. And for the 4th week of November 1996, on the Billboard charts, number 2, It's All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion. Number 3, Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton. Number 6, My Pony by Genuine. I refer to it as the burping song. Long time ago on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Number 7, I Love You Always Forever by Donna Lewis. Number 8, Where Do You Go by No Mercy. Number 11, Don't Let Go by En Vogue. Number 13, If It Makes You Happy by Sheryl Crow. Number 14, When You Love a Woman by Journey. Number 17, Change the World by Eric Clapton. And number 24, Come On Ride It, parenthesis, The Train by Quad City DJs.
Close parenthesis.
Close parenthesis. Number 25, This Is Your Night by Amber. Why did I put that one down?
November 1996, man, they were ballad heavy.
Oh yeah. We must have been a week where you were stuck with your family having to listen to all that. And now back to the show.
Did you know the guy that played Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs was like a relatively recurring character in Monk?
No, but had I watched Monk, I might have known that.
Oh, I feel like you watched that show. I feel like you watched, maybe I'm thinking because you watched Psych, you watched Monk, but
right.
Those things are not adjacent.
I mean,
they're crimey, but
on USA, and one ended right as the other one was kind of starting. But I mean, I think I watched a few episodes. Monk was just like on the other side of me watching USA shows.
I see.
You watched Monk though, right?
No. God,
okay. No. Someone I knew watched Monk. Anywhere you want to go?
Hold on, I have to click something first. Anywhere I want to go? No, I think I just wanted to talk about the Buffalo Bill guy.
The non-90s contributions.
Yes, you're welcome.
Well, Monk started in the 90s at some point. It did not start in 96.
I knew it. I didn't realize he played General Woodman in Evolution.
Okay.
I knew he looked familiar after seeing him from.
Was he in a lot of stuff? Like, huh.
Yeah, but he like often looks a lot different
because he wasn't tucking himself and saying.
Well, he has a mustache, like old people hair.
Would you me? Me good.
Wow.
Speaking of king yourself, Tamagotchi.
The Tamagotchi. I remember the Tamagotchi. Didn't they become such a problem in elementary school they had to like ban them?
Yes, I remember. I got one for Christmas, and then by like the second week of January, they're like, you can no longer bring your Tamagotchis to school.
Which means they're just gonna like pile up in their own shit and die at home.
Right. For those of you that don't remember, Tamagotchi is a handheld digital pet that was created by in Japan by Bandai. It was released in November of 1996 in Japan, and on the 1st of May in 1997 in the rest of the world. And it became one of the biggest fads of the late 90s. And I don't really recall it being a fad in the early 2000s.
No.
Wikipedia. It died out when the schools didn't let you bring it in. But so most Tamagotchis are like a little egg device that has a little digital, I would say monster, but that would be a Digimon, which was the male branded version of Tamagotchi, also owned by Bandai. But it was a digital pet that you kept alive. I remember, I think it was in 98, they even released a Game Boy game where you just did the exact same thing with it.
You had to feed it, you had to clean its excrement, and play with it, I think.
Yes. And that's all you had to do. But it like every few hours, you had to make sure that you fed it and
do you feel like
water.
It better educated our generation of teen moms?
You know, you would hope so. But then if you were told you can't bring your child to school, what do you do? Leave it with your parents?
Yeah. True.
Also, Tamagotchi is a portmanteau of Tamago and Utochi, which is Tamago is egg and Utochi is watch, apparently.
Is portmanteau that's one of those words that is its own definition? Like portmanteau is a portmanteau?
I don't think so. Portmanteau is just two words combined together.
But is it derived from two words put together?
I don't. Is it though? I don't think it is.
I feel like it's one of those things.
A
portmanteau is a large trunk or suitcase typically made of stiff leather and opening into 2 equal parts.
Okay, so, but did you look up the etymology of the word?
Well, no.
Because it's just from being a chest.
Entomology. Isn't that the study of bugs?
One is entomology, one is etymology.
Etymology is words, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Upon activating the toy, an egg appears on screen, and after setting the clock on the device, the egg will wiggle for several minutes and hatch into a small pet.
Why is that making me laugh?
I remember mine was green.
It was much less creepy and less annoying than Furby, for sure.
Yes. Because it was just a little blob. And then it would, like, if you fed it enough and loved it enough, it would, like, turn into a less blobby thing.
It like goes to college.
It grows and then it eventually dies because there's so many dead Furby there's probably a bunch of dead Furbies too, but there's a lot of dead Tamagotchis out there in the world right now.
Sad.
And then when it dies, you just get a new egg.
That's smart. That's marketing.
Whereas like and then you could, if you didn't like the one that you got, you could like keep resetting until you got the one that you wanted. I feel like yours was blue. I don't know why.
I had one?
Didn't you have one? I know I had one.
Maybe I did. I don't know.
Who knew? I don't remember. Well, moving on.
Yeah. A pause button was included later versions.
Oh, yes. And you could input your birthday.
Wow. Now kids are just... What are kids doing now?
Freebasing Roblox. Whatever that means. But back in the 90s, we had Deep Space Nine doing an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, doing one of the first like heavy uses of green screen on television.
Wow.
Yeah, as far as I remember. So they cut themselves into a series, season 1 episode of Star Trek, like from the 50s. They did some digital remastering on the Star Trek, the original series footage, and then cut in the characters from Deep Space Nine. They get sent back in time from... there's a whole religious aspect to Deep Space Nine with the Bajorians, and they had these like eggs, and the eggs would like do different things, and this one was a time egg. And
were they Tamagotchis?
Essentially, they were just giant Tamagotchis. The eggs housed the paw wraiths and I can do this. I don't remember the spirits. It was a whole thing. They were on a space station. It was wings in space. But basically there's a scene where Sisko meets Kirk, and he hands him he was dressed as a yeoman, and he was like, "Here, sir, can you sign this?" And Kirk's like, they use a scene where there's a female yeoman that Kirk's like into. So right. It's like he gives him like the creepiest look, and it's like, okay, that they should have used a different scene for that one.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was cool. Very because that's one of the big favorite episodes of fans from the original series. Also, the movie First Contact was probably the best Star Trek, probably one of the best Star Trek movies that the Next Generation cast did.
It was an even number.
It wasn't an even number, and they went back in time. Wait, are you saying First isn't an even number?
No, I'm saying you told me the good ones are the even numbered ones.
Yes, it technically was 8, I think. Oh, yeah, it says right there. Okay. Yeah, so they introduced the Enterprise E, which is all slick and cool, and the Borg go back in time to stop the original warp test flight with that Zephyr Cochrane was doing. Got a 93% of reviews are positive. It's Picard has his own like Ahab moment where he's trying to fight the Borg off. I don't know. It's a good Star Trek movie. You should watch it. If you don't even like Star Trek, you should watch it. You'd probably like it.
Good recommendation.
Thank you. Speaking of movies you should watch if you don't like the franchise, Space Jam.
Is this some sort of a preserves?
Yes.
Space.
It's Celestial Jam. It's actually it's the people from Def Jam got into a rocket and went into space to do rap battles in space. Space Jam is a 1996 live-action animated sports comedy directed by Joe Pytka. It's based on the film stars basketball player Michael Jordan, Wayne Knight, and other people, and the Looney Tunes. It's the Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes movie where the Looney Tunes will be enslaved if they don't win a basketball game against a bunch of space aliens that stole NBA players.
Oh, and the film. Oh, it's a fictionalized account. Okay, glad they clarified.
Of the timeline between Jordan's retirement from basketball and his return to basketball, where he was playing for the Chicago White Sox AA team. This was based off of the Super Bowl commercial of Jordan playing basketball with Bugs Bunny, with Marvin the Martian as the referee.
Right.
I don't even remember what was that for. Like, it was an Air Jordans commercial. Who knows? But it is one of the most acclaimed childhood movies from the 90s, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but not acclaimed by critics.
Oh, of course not. No, by nostalgia.
But
people
everyone
like
loves this movie.
Yeah. And recently they even did like the Teen Titans Go series, did a watch of it, like Mystery Science Theater 3000, as a promotional thing for the horrendous LeBron James Space Jam movie. Did
anyone expect it to be good?
I expected it to have some quality.
To be like passable?
Yeah. I expected it to be like, because Space Jam, I watched both like recently or whenever the new Space Jam came out, because I had HBO Max at the time, and it was Space Jam: A New Legacy was a disappointment relative to watching Space Jam, and it wasn't the nostalgia factor. It was the fact that the Space Jam: A New Legacy, while the original movie was based off of a Super Bowl commercial, yeah, like it's clearly steeped in like nostalgia marketing and like trying to just like get money. But Space Jam: A New Legacy, LeBron's version, was worse because, one, the acting was so much worse. The
weird thing about it is it came out 25 years later, but it still felt rushed. Like it was too soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't give it what it deserved.
They went through like a couple different pitches on that movie, from what I understand. Like,
what if the pitch was just don't make it? Stop trying to make something better that you're never going to make better.
Right. And like it was a heartless cash grab. It was like when you remember when Shaq did that movie, we talked about it. I think it was Kazam. And he was like, it was that, or is a Steal, one of those two, where in the interview he was like, listen, I was a young rookie player at the height of my popularity, coming from the streets or something. He said something to like lower income area, and he was like, I wanted to make a movie and I wanted to make some money, and I did both.
Well, so that's fair.
That's what it felt like. But LeBron, like the idea, they animate him for like half the movie, and you know they got LeBron to do voice acting from the recording booth, and it's like, why? Like, at least when you're a director, you can be like, hey, LeBron, try putting this kind of emotion into it. But when you're in the recording booth, you like hear it and you're like, it's like they made him run through it in a day and then tried to animate his acting, which was somehow worse.
I don't like that.
And then they just tried to grab every single Warner Brothers IP that they had available and like stuff it into the movie, because it was set in the Warner, like Don Cheadle was the AI that took over the Warner Brothers servers, and like they were, I don't know. I think I complained about this on the podcast before. There was like references to Pulp Fiction, and like I think the It clown was in the background at one point.
They're trying to like appeal to the adults.
They had Rick and Morty. It's like, why would you have Rick and Morty in a children's movie?
Doesn't make sense.
But yeah, the original Space Jam, at least the heart was there.
Also, no one knows what Looney Tunes are anymore.
That's a great point.
Because they're all sexist and racist and not on TV anymore.
Like half of the Looney Tunes have been canceled.
So effectively, they made a kids movie for adults.
Yes.
And it didn't do that well because it couldn't live up to the original movie.
Right.
Which they liked when they were kids.
Exactly.
But it made money, so they're good.
Did it though? I don't think it shouldn't have. 101 Dalmatians?
Didn't know it had Jeff Daniels and Hugh Laurie in it, which is cool.
Oh yeah. Jeff Daniels was the guy heroine. Nope. the guy protagonist.
That's funny.
That's a new shirt. Guy heroine.
Let's start taking feminine words and making and assigning them to men instead of the other way around.
I mean, that would work. It's produced by John Hughes, which is he's Ferris Bueller.
Can I just say that is way too many dogs to have in one house?
I think they get a mansion at the end of the movie.
It's really a health code violation.
They get a mansion at the end of the movie. It's in like somewhere in England or something. Glenn Close is Cruella DeVille.
Hey, she is a handsome woman. Family Guy.
Yep. Apparently there was a live action, or no. Nope. The animated version was from 1961. I'm not an idiot. It grossed $320 million in theaters against a $67 million budget, which is the sixth highest grossing film of 96. And Glenn Close got nominated for a Golden Globe.
Wow.
How strange is that?
Yeah. For a dog movie.
Yeah.
Dalmatians are nasty dogs.
Are they?
They get cancer and urate stones and they bite. Yeah, they're not very nice.
There was a sequel. Did you know there was a sequel?
Let me guess the name.
Thinking hard, folks.
101 Dalmatians 2, The College Years. No. 102 Dalmatians.
It was 102 Dalmatians.
Dear God.
Luckily, it released in November of 2000. So
with a new character.
Yes. I think it was a dog that wanted to be a Dalmatian. It was probably the 102nd Dalmatian.
Wow. I
honestly don't remember it. But yeah, and then they eventually did a live action reboot with Cruella this year in May with Emma Stone, and that's also getting a sequel. Can you tell me? It might be called 102 Cruellas.
Tuella?
Tuella, yes. We should just pitch these. Why are we not movie pitchers?
The College Years. I can't. It's the only thing I know to do.
Well, not Electric Boogaloo. That's a good one.
Yeah, well, that's a good one too.
Anything else you want to talk about for this month?
No, I feel like we went over, didn't we?
We're over, yes.
Damn. No, I'm good.
All right. Well, then that's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. Check the episode description for this week's supplemental Spotify playlist curated by yours truly. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Namely90s with 90s, or find our personal accounts at Beachwoody and at Namely Andrew and tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. If you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Namely90s, also with a 90s. Finally, you can also contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Tribblecast, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeart, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.
$103 Dalmatians.